Hello. Welcome to another question session. And now I have the another questions, and this is one chapter for CMA exam, and it will cover the 10 percentage of the exam mark total. And this is the enterprise risk management. Already I have covered unit one. There were around 11 questions, and now I'm going to solve for the unit 2 questions, right? There are 27 questions. This is enterprise risk management, and there are 27 questions. Okay. Now I'm going to show how to solve all these questions. There are 27 questions. These are the quite uh, big amount, quite large numbers, but still we will try to solve within the given time frame. There are 27 questions, and 27 out of 27 questions all theoretical questions, because this chapter itself theoretical and not a practical. And we need to consider the things is basic understanding how to solve the questions, right? In that case, some cases there are long questions, and if there are long questions, and we need to first read the what is the requirement of the question, right? And this is also long question, not a long, but still not a short as well, medium question. In this case, we need to first read the what is the requirement. What strategy could you heels use to exploit this risk? But this requirement don't give the sense, any sense. There is no any sense of this word. So we need to read entire questions. Well, transportation agency has identified the fluctuation in fuel cost as the operational risk. What is it? Fluctuations in fuel cost, right? It says that fluctuation fuel cost. It means there is a cost fluctuation in future risk assessment, right? And we have to identify here what is the strategy can be used to reduce the this risks. In the given options, there are one is the buying insurance against the fuel package risks insurance, that is also called as the risk sharing option. And another option is use a future contract to block the future fuel delivery at the current price as a hedge against the increase. And option D, create a border service area, gain economic scale in delivery routes over longer distance, right? And option A, add the passenger seats. See, option A and option D are the having no reason. There is no any reason. Create a border service area to gain economy scale delivery routes over the longer distance. This do not make any sense for these questions, right? Option A, also add passenger seat to its delivery vehicles to diversify the revenue resources, increase the truck weightage. This is also useless. And what is the useful option here? Option B can be one option, and option C, that is also possible options. In the given questions, this is a price fluctuation, fuel price fluctuation. And in this case, what we can do? We can do hedge. In this case, has one option and insurance also against the fuel leakage risks. And buy insurance against the fuel leakage risks. This is not a proper way, and we should go for the hedging. This question is all about the hedging, but just question is making the confusion to the examiner. Question number two. This is very short questions. And company has decided to set up insurance for its employee medical insurance. This is example of what company is just proposing to make the medical insurance for the all employee, right? It means what? Company is trying to reduce the risks. Company is trying to reduce the risks by what? And one is reducing the risks, exploiting the risks, retaining the risks, and transferring the risks. It means company is self-insuring, not transferring to anyone and not asking to other as insurance companies to get to buy the any insurance plan from the other companies. It means company is insuring itself. It means all the other risks they are digesting. It means accepting and making self-insurance. It means retaining the risks, not other risks. Okay. Which of the following would not be the technique or company would use in the identifying the enterprise risk? Means this is for the one step. There are four steps to mitigate the risks, right? First, we need to set up how to identify the risks. Second option will be the assessment, how to assess the risks, right? Third will be the evaluate how this risk will impact to the entity. Fourth will be the monitor. These are the steps, and which is the follow is not a technique to company would use in the identifying the enterprise risk. It means the this is first step to identify the risks. This is a process, right? Brainstorming. This brainstorming is also the one part of the process to identify the risks. Some suppose the uh, risk committee need to identify the some of the critical cases, and committee need to uh, talk with the employee staff and how they can identify more and how they can collect the more and more information. That is this brainstorming. Brainstorming is also one type of technique. So this is the valid question and executive decision making. This is a little bit confusing questions options and workshop. Facilitated workshop. This is also one type of the risk identification technique, and risk quiz questionnaire. This is also technique. So only this is the odd executive decision making. This is not a identifying enterprise risk technique, right? Question number 4. A company has decided to set up a line of credit to fund potential losses if it experiences a downturn in its business cycle. This type of risk response is what? Retention risks, reduction risks, sharing risks, acceptance risks, risk avoidance. What? A company has decided to set up a line of credit to fund potential losses if it experiences a downturn business cycle. It means some type of provision is making, right? Line of credit to fund potential losses if it is experience a downturn in business. It is not a insurance. This is not also a hedging. This is what risk reduction, risk acceptance, or risk sharing. Risk sharing is no. Risk avoidance, no. Risk reduction, risk reduction is also okay, but this do not seems like that properly risk reduction. This is a risk acceptance. And question number 5. The expected maximum probable losses to a commercial building is what? Commercial building. This is one tricky questions. And commercial building, how? Commercial building, what we consider as for IMA suggestion, and if there is a big building, less risky. Small building, more risky. This is the concept. In this case, lower of the building is vacant. If lower, if the building is vacant, directly related to size of building, complete destruction of building and all of the content, and inversely related to the size of building. It means what I told you. Large building, less risk. Small building, more risk. It means directly related to the size of the building, right? This will be the option. And question number 6. The maximum possible losses to the seller of a net call option if no other transaction is made to a hedge. It means what is the level of the expected loss in case of call option. Means net call option means there is no any restriction, means any level can be happen. It means unlimited loss can be happen in case of net sale option. This is as per IMA suggestion. Okay, and this is question number 7. Question number 7, maybe this I cannot share the screen. Mainly problem is this one is paid version of questions, so I cannot share. That is why I'm just showing the questions. The question, each question is very important, and the concept is also very much important. There is screen sharing is not allowed here. That's why I have to show. Else I could share the screen, but there is not a screen sharing option, and this is already restricted. And this is paid version of the questions. These are paid questions, not a very public question. Nobody can get Google somewhere else this question, right? That's why this is a paid version of questions, and I can share the screen, computer screen as well. And if I share the computer screen, and the website automatically black block. That's why I just showing through the mobile version, and but still question we can read here, right? I hope everybody can see my questions and as well as the other options also. Question number 7. Mountain Mortgage Company reviewed its enterprise risks and decided to stop the issuing mortgage to certain borrowers that had a higher probability of default. It means completely stop. This is action is example what type of risk response strategy. It means we have avoided. This is simple risk avoidance. No, nothing. Just some questions are very simple and just skip that one. VAR, value at risk, is measured at the chances of losses of portfolio based on what factor. It means some of the questions are very easy, and that better to skip and go forward. And value at risks, in case of enterprise risk, is the historical probability, which can be uh, -1 to +1. That is a between. Suppose that this is a value at risk. This like this chart will be there will be the normal distribution chart. There will be the chart, and from -1 to +1. All the possibility probability can be have from between +1 and -1. That's why this is a historical probability distribution portfolio value, and other options are irrelevant. Which of the following is not method of managing operational risks? Operational risks, which is not a method of managing operational risks. Regularly reviewing the personnel. This operational risks, personnel and employee all fall between the operational risks, and continuous reviewing the business process. This is also based operational risks, and hedging strategy designed reduce the risks of the interest rate fluctuation. This is financial risk, not operational risk. Having a good and functioning internal control that are well maintained. This is also operational risks, and although hedging is not operational risk, this is related to the financial risks. For a given risk, an unexpected loss is loss that cannot be prepared. Unexpected loss means what? That can be prepared, that cannot be prepared, an amount that should be budgeted for, an amount that should be reserved as capital. Amount losses very unlikely to occur. Unexpected loss means what? That is beyond our expectation and our capacity. That's called unexpected loss. And in this case, if we get unexpected loss, we have to reverse our capital, reserve capital. Reverse capital means we have to fund from our reserve capital, and it will reduce our capital. This answer is also suggested by IMA Institute. And now we are on question number 11. Which of the following would not be considered a problem in conducting an enterprise risk assessment? We need to understand this assessment or identification or mitigation. We need to identify. This is assessment level. We are assessing the risks, right? Assessing is when they not included all of the stakeholder. This is not a right questions. I think this is not a right answer. Lack of common understanding of risks. Lack of common understanding of risks. This is not a right answer, I think. And emphasizing decision among the participants in the workshop. I think this workshop is also part of risk identification, using the democratic and board process to identify risks rather than relying on expert. This assessment or not what? Emphasizing lack of common understanding of risks. No, this lack of common understanding of risks is okay, not included all shoulder, emphasizing decision among the participant in workshop. Assessment, I think this is decision making should not be happen in the assessment process, and we will see back the answer there. What is the correct answer? But this is confusing to me as well. With respect to the given risks and unexpected losses, loss that management know will occur. Oh, sorry, this expected loss that management knows, but no, will occur. But when occur, how much damage will be there in enterprises? That is not a fix, that cannot be measured, and the amount that management think could be lost to risks very in very bad year. This expected loss amount that management expect to be lost for year on an average over a period of several years. Expected loss amount that every year that risks. Amount expected to be lost every year to that risks. Amount that expected to be lost per year on an average period of several years, 4 years. These two options are correct option. I think these two options out of two, one is the correct option, but these two options are not correct. And an amount that management expect to be lost per year on an average over a period of several years. Amount that expected to be lost every year that risks. Let's go for this option. That is also confusing option. What is the requirement of this question? This action is example of what type of risk response strategy. We need to find the risk type of strategy, a risk response strategy. In this case, questions asking right of communication, wire communication struggle with the maintenance and repair on the specialty telecommunication equipment that has noted that fragile nature of the some of the equipment as an end area of the concern in the enterprise risk assessment. Where has evaluated the risks and decided to purchase a contract with the warranty insurer. It means we are purchasing one warranty. Risk sharing or risk transfer. What? Risk reduction, risk mitigation. Risk avoidance is not. Risk acceptance is not. Risk reduction, warranty. Risk sharing, that also can be the one possible answer. Warranty. Warranty is provided by author. Risk reduction, mitigation. Mitigation is not option. It means risk sharing and risk transfer is the best option in this question. Okay, now we are on question number 14 out of 27. It means 50% around completely. And as a defined by statement on management accounting, enterprise risk management framework eliminate and integration that amount of risk that remain after management take action mitigate risk is not already I talk about this one. If the management already applied to mitigate the risk and still there's some person remain be undetected or not uh, able to mitigate entire risks and some amount always remain, that's called residual risks. The remaining risks, unidentifiable risks, assess risks is all around all confusion only, and it's called the residual risks. Simple. Okay. Which of the following is not a benefit of risk management? It says which better countenance, continue contingency planning, better contingency planning, and improve cost control, lower tax, and increase shareholder value. Better contingency planning is okay, improve cost control is okay, increase shareholder value is also okay, but lowering tax, this is not a part of the risk management. We cannot reduce the tax rate due to only by applying the enterprise risk assessment. This is only other than that compliances and government liabilities can be managed, but we cannot reduce the tax. The best description of scenario analysis as a risk analysis technique is that it is a method. Best description of scenario analysis as a risk analysis technique. Scenario analysis. Evaluate the impact of the changing group of assumptions, changing key variable to assess the impact, and apply predetermined probability distribution to estimate the risk outcome. Scenario analysis. We are talking about the scenario. Combine negative correlated asset and reduce overall risk. All these options not seem to be related. These questions change in key variable on asset assess. Evaluate the time impact changing the group of assumption. Applicable predetermined probability distribution and element risk outcome. Combine negative correlated asset to reduce the overall risk. Change the key variable to assess the impact. Let's go for this option. This question is confusing to me, and I don't know this exactly what is the answer. Question number 7. Financial risk management is financial risk means we already discussed about the financial risk management, which is related to interest rate and managing risks connected with the day-to-day operation of the company. Risks connected with the day-to-day operation. This is not financial risk. Deciding risks which must be addressed and prioritize them. This is not also financial risk. The level of risk that even process prior management taking the mitigation is also not. Use a financial instrument. This is a financial risk. And now we are in question number 18. How do you evaluate the risk exposure? Risk exposure, how do you evaluate? To evaluate the risk exposure, identify what action to be taken, identify the company risk exposure, evaluate risk exposure, evaluation, risk evaluation, right? Mitigate risks periodically. This is not risk exposure, not mitigate. Evaluate the risk exposure. Evaluation. We are on at the evaluation level. Specify the nature of exposure. Identify the what action to be can be taken, and identify the company's attitude to risks. Company attitude. Identify. Specify the nature of exposure. Monitor is not option, right option. Identify is not right option. Identify the company's attitude to risks. Specify the nature of the exposure. These two are the possible options. Identify the company's attitude to risks. Evaluate the risk exposure. Specify the nature of the exposure. This is not. Identify the company attitude. Specify. Evaluate. Evaluate means identify the company attitude. This is not evaluation. Specify. Now we are in question number 19. Hopefully there are 2-3 questions are confusing still. Having the space is having a specific investment policies in place is an example of managing what kinds of risks. This is said. The question is said the investment policy in place. Example managing specific investment policy in place is an example of managing what kinds of risks? Financial risks, strategic risks. Investment means related to financial. No other option. Simple. Now we are in question number 20. And as part of the enterprise risk management review, multi-state company identify the risk significant losses in division selling product in a highly regulated market. What action would multi-state take if it wishes to manage the risks through a risk avoidance strategy? What the question exactly saying? The question is saying that management identify that one selling division is facing the significant losses, right? And we are planning to implement the risk avoidance strategy. In this case, what can we do, right? Divest or liquidate the division. Diversify is not avoidance. The avoidance means completely avoid their section, their division. It means first option is correct answer. Divest or liquidate the division, that is the correct answer. And this one, uh, I think this is the simplest question out of the whole questions, right? We just need to calculate what probability. Probability is what? Zero point 0.9 multiplied by zero point 0.1. So 0.09 and zero point 0.4 multiplied by zero point 0.8 is a 0.32. Zero point 0.5 multiplied by zero point 0.5. This is a 0.25 and zero point 0.6 multiplied by zero point 0.7. This is the option is what? Which of the identified risks the highest risk score? It means we just need to multiply both this one and this one. This is the significant probability and this is the likelihood. And in this case, if we multiply highest, we'll come to the option D, and option A is the correct answer. Let's move next question. Management accountant. What is the question exactly asking in this one? Which of the following the best identifies a technique that that she should consider using? Management accountant is leading the effort to completely identify all of the risks that face her company. Risk identification technique, right? Internal audit, risk identify process, pre process reengineering, self assessment workshop, customer survey, process reengineering, internal audit, customer survey. Which is the best option? Internal audit, also one process reengineering, self assessment workshop. I, because we are in the process of identifying the risks, then we need to selection workshop need to be the right answer. Question number 23. What is this exactly question is asking? This action is an example of what type of risk? Again, this is a type of risk we need to identify. This hopefully should be the simple answer. During the enterprise risk assessment, the company has identified the risks of the inventory losses by theft, remote distribution center. The audit committee of the Company has directed its internal audit department to develop, implement, and monitor compliance with the internal control to reduce the theft or losses. This action is example or what? Question is saying that during the assessment, uh, the company has identified that there is a risk of losses by theft at the remote distribution center. The audit committee has been directed to implement internal control and develop and monitor. It means this is what? Risk sharing, risk transfer? No. This one option is wrong. Option 2, risk acceptance or exploitation. Acceptance is no. Option C, risk avoidance? No. Risk reduction mitigation. This is risk reduction. Risk acceptance is a risk reduction. Risk sharing no. Risk acceptance no. Now and we are going to complete soon all the questions and which of the following actions should be the best response if the company wishes to continue in business and cannot fully transfer the risks. This one is the limitation of the company. Company should continue and cannot transfer the risks as well. SP rocket manufacturing uses some of the potential dangerous manufacturing technique and has identified risks with the its employee on the job injury cost as the part of the enterprise risk assessment. Which of the following action would be the best? It means company should continue and cannot fully transfer the risk as well, right? Reduce risks through safety produce and obtain worker compensation insurance for the reasonable portion of the expected losses and accept the remaining risks through the funding driven increase production of the high risk. This is the wrong. And diversify into the other area of business that are safe in the an effect that offset losses from the employee injury in the risky area. There is a limitation. Which of the following option can be best response if the company wishes to continue business and cannot fully transfer the risk? Risky area. Liquidate the business. Liquidate is the avoidance. This cannot be done. Diversify other area. Manufacturing technique and has identified a risk with the employee on the job injury cost as the part of the enterprise risk assessment. Which of the following? No, this is diverse risky. Diversify into the other area of business that safe in the unable to set off the losses from the employee injury. No, this is not the right answer. Reduce the risks through the safety procedure. Obtain the worker compensation insurance reasonable. This will be the best answer. Now we are in question number 25. JK Corporated borrowed money to buy stock as the hedge against the potential losses on the stock hedging. This is the protection mechanism also known as stock hedging, insurance or future contract or derivatives or long sale. This stock hedging, this is not a future contract or derivatives, risk protection mechanism, insurance. Insurance is not a correct answer. Long sale is also not correct answer. Long sale also not correct answer. Insurance also not correct answer. Future contract and derivative option. Future contract potential losses. This also can be happen. Future contract cannot be this derivative only. The offside on no. We are going to complete a MNO company is completing its enterprise risk assessment and has identified the event that could render the company unable to sustain op- operation or provide service to customers. How would you categorize this type of event? This MNO company is completing its risk assessment process and has identified an event that could render the company unable to sustain operation or provide service to customer. Okay. In this case, company is unable to sustain or unable to provide services. So how will you categorize this type of risks? And simply, this is risks, process loss, catastrophic losses. Catastrophic losses is the right answer. And this is what? This is also same. This is also same. Earlier also we have calculated same type 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 127,500 means 12,000 and point 2 multiplied by point 8 multiplied by 6 lakh 96,000 and point 3 multiplied by point 7 multiplied by 7 lakh 1,47,000. Point 6 multiplied by point 6 multiplied by 8 lakh means 2,88,000. Option D. No, identify the lowest expected value of cost. Lowest means option A. We already calculated lowest option A. Okay. Oops. I don't know what happened to this one. My course also has been closed. I think this is 68% is completed. Only 68%, even 80% not completed till now, and it's very hard to revise all the sections. And if I go my profile and